People always ask, how did we get into the content creation space when we are not photographers?
Yeah.
We are not Bob the Builder's helpers at all. Well, I could build a little bit, I think. And you can paint. But that is not our arena. Mm-hmm. So how did we get into this content creation space and owning 3 studios?
Yeah. You don't forget, we're in our 4th location.
We are in our 4th location, but I don't want this to be a studio. That's the surprise. This is that. We'll reveal that at the end.
Okay.
So we own 3, but we do have 4.
Okay. So, man, it kind of happened. It happened to us. It happened for us. I don't believe we made it happen. The way, man, I always say, I thank God for the pandemic.
Amen.
The pandemic steered us a particular direction that we didn't even know we were going to get into. In 2020, we did our virtual, the Poets in the Autumn conference. And when we did that virtual conference, even up until then, we had always been used to renting studios to do our promos. Every time it was time to do a promo, we'll get all these videographers in, fly people in, and we'll film. This time for the PIA conference, we wanted to do something that felt more lifestyle.
Because everybody had to move to producing their content online because the government said we were not allowed to meet.
Yeah.
So that means you had to find somewhere to record anything that you wanted to give to your audience that had bought tickets already.
Absolutely. But I don't know. It didn't come to my mind that you could use the space in that way. So we got a lifestyle space. We were recommending the space. I was like, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Let's use this space. We came up in there and it was beautiful. We loved it. And we needed to film more footage. And so I went to the calendar to try to book a second session.
I remember.
And I saw the calendar and it was literally booked up for the rest of the month.
And what did that say to you?
I was just like, oh, this is our business.
No,
I was like,
keep in mind, the lady that owned the space, she just opened up in February of 2020.
Yes.
She said she was already booked for the year.
Yeah.
How you just opened up in February and you booked for the year?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do take into consideration that it was the pandemic, so everyone was coming to her to use her content creation space.
Yeah.
But when we saw it, it was like, we could do this.
I was like, this is beautiful. It's amazing. But at that point, we're already, first of all, let me just kind of give people the background of how I even got into interior design, because I feel like I'm into interior design. My wife introduced me into interior design.
And he used to tease me.
Yeah.
He used to tease me about it.
So she was always into it, like even before, every time I met her, when I met her, going into different spaces, we'll go into a hotel. She'd be like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love those flowers. I love the ceilings.
Yeah.
I love
Look at these rocks.
We used to tease you about it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because it was just so funny. She'll go, my boy would just be like, she'll be in a place like, oh my gosh, is that oil on the wall? It was just so funny the way
mocking me, not knowing I could help you make money, mocking me.
She just admired everything. And to me, I was just like, it's whatever. I was always into fashion a little bit.
No, I got him into that too.
Okay.
Give me credit.
First of all, I was just like thug dressing back in the day. Stop acting like I didn't have the fit.
I didn't know you in high school. I didn't know you. He keeps talking about these high school
crazy fits. I had all the jerseys, had the Air Force ones. Come on now. All right. So I personally, in my opinion, I was in the fashion.
He was into fashion.
Wow.
You look, I'm sure you look nice. I'm sure you look nice.
That's patronizing. Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, but it was her that kind of helped me broaden my mind, even with our wedding, with colors and coordination. And so it started to make me kind of naturally into it. I was always in the arts. And so her opening my mind like this made me interested in it. So the first project we had was our house.
Oh, yeah.
We started doing little things to our house to make it nice. And it just felt good to see something that we put our hands on and made it beautiful. So first was our apartment. Then we got, it was a house to be.
Yeah, it was a house. It was a small house.
And then we did the place that we were renting from your mom.
Yeah, a house that I grew up in that I never saw change in over at that time, 20-something years.
Yeah.
And when we came in and my mom said, yeah, you guys can, kind of do whatever you want with the place.
Yeah.
And we put new floors and I'm like, wow, you could take something old and make it look brand new.
Absolutely. And so I think that's when I kind of caught the bug after we did the floors and it was time to paint and bring in furniture. I was just like, can I just like do? I don't even know if I asked for permission. I was just
you just started doing whatever. After she said yes the first time, you kind of just took over.
I'm gonna just get these stones for this mantle. I'm gonna do this, and my wife just kind of let me at it. So that was like the first project. We were really proud. My wife loved the ideas that came, and she would add her touch and add the stuff that she really liked to make it beautiful. And we were just like the dynamic duo. Then I did my parents' church. I was just like, I caught the bug. I wanted to do something nice, so I helped renovate their church. And then it was time to move to Georgia. And I was like, Kayana, I don't want to hear it. I literally said, this is my project.
Yeah.
In fact, like I did all the purchases, on most of the purchases online. I did all the stuff to make it look like, so it kind of had a masculine vibe. I'm not even gonna lie.
It did.
It had a masculine vibe. But once that was done, I was just like, oh, I do interior design. And my wife was like, this is my thing. And I'm just like, yeah, it is, but it's my thing now. And so when it was time, when we saw the lady's space, I was just like, we're going to do this. And my wife was just like, yeah, this would be good to think about. By the end of the night, I was already researching.
You already found like 3 different locations to be potential spots for our content creation studio.
Yeah, and I'm impulsive. She's not. No. So if there's an idea that comes, first of all, my wife probably is sitting on about $1,000 million ideas. She has so many ideas.
Contact me. I'll give you an idea.
It's ridiculous. No, let me try them out first. So she got all these ideas, but she's not impulsive like me. So when I say like, we're going to do something, we're going to do it today.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the pros and cons of in the balance that we have. And so I was just like, hey, we're going to do this, but here's the thing. I'm not going to do it foolishly. So if we're going to get this thing, let's just get it. And it will just be a space that we can use. Maybe when we create content, we could have little events there. It's just going to be our space. And, if we want our kids
trying it out
to be around area, because it was a nice area, we just was like, okay, let's get the spot. And if we don't make any money, it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Because it will still be for us. Yeah. And if we allow friends to use it. And we had someone partner in with us that chose not to continue. And that was fine as well. And we told him at the time, if you decide not to continue with us, it is okay.
Yeah.
Because, can we say his name?
Yeah, I think we could say his name.
Yeah, okay. Right. Joseph Solomon, our good friend Joseph Solomon. Yeah. He partnered with us because he was there that day during the time when you guys were all recording for Poets Anonymous, and he was just as passionate about finding a content creation studio space. Because when she said she was already booked for the year, all 3 of our eyes lit up like, how you do that? So he partnered with us as well. And we told him from the beginning, if you choose not to continue with this for any reason, that is fine, because this is something that we are very passionate about. And we are grateful that you even, it would level out the expenses for us. So we were grateful that he was going into it with us.
Yeah. And so it got to a point where I was really headstrong on certain ideas. I'm just going to thank him in the areas.
Thank you, Joe.
I got to say, when we first started, I was just like, let's get these fake plants and put them here.
Oh, yeah. Joe brightened our horizon.
I'm still into fake plants, though, a little bit. Yeah. But he was just like, no, man, you got to get the real plants.
Yeah.
And I was just
Joe did that.
What? Real plants? The maintenance, or why? And he was just like, look, it's so much better. It looks better. And once we did that,
he was right.
It opened our mind.
If Joe did not introduce real plants to us, we would still have fake ones in each and every one of our places to this day.
Yeah.
We are still not a plant mom and dad, because we are real mom and dad to real kids and real children. Kids. So if Joe did not tell us about real plants, I would have never even touched soil.
Yeah. So he opened that horizon for us, and it helped us out. In fact, when it was time for him to leave, the sofa, our favorite big white sofa, he was just like, even though I purchased the sofa, I think he purchased it. Yeah. He was just like, you guys could keep it.
Yeah, because he wanted to continue doing music, and he moved to another state. So it was not as convenient or responsible on his finances to continue with this. And no hard feelings. I still, appreciate him to this day for helping us, because we had to, that was our startup money.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
right.
So we kicked it off the first week. Dry, like literally we got no bookings. Well, I was looking at my wife, I was just like, well, it's just gonna be one of those things. Like we didn't get it. I'm gonna, hopefully we could put up some pictures of what it looked like when we started and we got it nice and got the decor up.
It's beautiful.
That's how it looked. It's beautiful. And we're just like, we got a beautiful space. Let's start recording our own stuff. Let's plan little things. Let's just do something.
I did a photo shoot there. And
a photo shoot?
To be honest, after that photo shoot, I don't think I've actually taken advantage of any of our locations.
You don't do photos in our spaces.
Tell me if y'all want me to do some more photo shoots. I don't know why I'm saying that. He's going to be the main guesser.
I say yes.
But yes, I still the one we're in right now. I have yet to do a photo shoot here.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's really sad. Okay. But anyway, it was beautiful, and we're just like, okay, nobody's booking. It is what it is. We're going to keep paying this rent and just see what happens.
Right.
And then the first couple bookings came in, and we're just like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah. People coming. They love it.
Yeah, they loved it. And it was just a couple bookings, and we were grateful. We're just like, well, praise God. That helps us with the rent. And then more people started booking. And then more people started booking.
Back to back.
Back to back. Then after about 2 or 3 weeks, like our calendar started filling up. By the time we were in it for about a month,
that place had ongoing traffic.
We were booked every day, all day.
All day.
From morning to night.
For the times that we was open to the time that we was closed.
Every day, all night. So, I mean, we could give our do's and don'ts because we learned so many lessons about that place. We were there for, 3 months? By the time we were there for 3 months, we had celebrities come in there.
Yeah.
We had people shoot music videos in there. We had so many dope
photographers.
The dope photographers.
We didn't even know that they would, because we were new to Atlanta and this was something brand new to us.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people that had content creation studios, they were photographers as well. Like the lady that we met, the first one, she was a photographer. I think she worked for Vogue or something like that. She had a big magazine.
Yeah.
So they were used to it. So we didn't know anybody in this photography world, especially in Atlanta, until we started seeing the pictures roll up in our feed, not even people we were following, but roll up in our feed on Instagram. And we looked at the picture, then we looked at their following, like, oh, this is somebody. Oh, this is somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't that such and such?
Yeah.
And we was like, oh my gosh, they like our spot.
Yeah. And I think for most people that had studios, photographers took pictures. It was about the pictures for them.
Right.
And for us, it was literally about the space. And I think that was the shift because our focus was making the space a place that people loved. That people felt like, took their photos or content up a level. For us, it was about the space, just walking in, looking at it.
When you felt,
whether you took pictures or not.
Felt it like, ooh, we just wanted them to feel, when you walk into something very nice, even though you're not going to utilize the whole thing, you just wanted that feeling of, this is nice.
Yeah, we wanted to create that feeling. And so I think that's kind of what people took to, and it just blew up. So we're in it, by the time we're in it by March, we started to get, I believe we started to get harassed first and foremost.
Yeah.
We started to get harassed because we were getting so much traffic that I personally think it just started to rub the residents the wrong way.
Well, I'm going to say this because I'm not even a person to look at it as black and white, but we was getting so much traffic.
Absolutely.
And they were not used to seeing that many of us. And how do I say it? That many types of versions of us come through that space because it was no longer just, Kayana and Ezekiel walking in. We had like
people from
Keisha's and Duran's. Like I'm saying these names. Nothing. I got.
We're gonna edit it out. Don't worry.
No, you can keep it in. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. We had different. We had the classiest of Black people to the ratchetest of Black people coming in. And not that they were disturbing the peace, but it was alarming to see someone with their booty cheeks hanging out or a whole bunch of tattoos that were Black walking through this nice complex. Yeah. That's what it really was.
Because we were in Buckhead. So it's just
and in that community, even though they were right down the street from Lenox, they still wasn't used to being next to Black people on an everyday basis like that.
Not in their privacy.
Yes.
And so we started to, I think what was the first kind of hint that we got?
Well, the first hint that I got was when I opened the door for one of the residents as she was walking out. I complimented her outfit and she just kind of kept walking. I'm like, I did hold the door open for you. So even if you didn't say thank you for saying you had on a nice outfit, you still could have acknowledged that I held the door open for you. And I think you told me the same thing. Like, you
Yeah.
held the door open for this same woman, and she ignored you. Like,
Was this the lady
that was the same woman?
No way.
Yes, yes.
So basically, we got a call from one of our guests on that day to say, hey, someone just walked in to the space and they're saying that
We can't be here.
Yeah, we can't be here.
Wait, I don't think you really broke that down.
Oh, wait. They called you. That was the first time it happened.
Yeah.
They called you.
But I don't think you.
Okay, go ahead.
You say that slower.
Okay.
They walked in our studio, like opened the door, felt free. I don't know what.
And
like,
we're in a residential building. So
you don't just walk in somebody's unit.
That's our home, basically.
Yeah, you said that too fast. They might think, oh, y'all walked through the door at the same time of the complex. No, they walked in our unit, opened the door, and start harassing our guests. And let me back up. When we first came to talk to the leasing office to let them know that we would like to rent something there, we were very transparent. We said, we are not going to live here. Mm-hmm. We are literally using this space for content creation. And the lady in the leasing office, who was the manager at that time, said, I see nothing wrong with that, because we have people that do live here that are lash techs, there's bakers, there's masseuses, and they have their clients coming to them. So she said, I see nothing wrong with that. But I think she didn't take in, none of us, we did not acknowledge that we were going to have such a good problem with so many people coming.
Yeah.
And that's when it became alarming for them.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So there's a lady who walked in the studio, like she said, like she trespassed into the studio. And she started, harassing our guests, and our guests called us and was saying, hey, this is what's happening. We're like, what? Who could this be? Right. That's crazy.
The first time she walked in, it was by a very popular photographer that we became friends with. And he was like, I just want you guys to know what happened. And I don't look at that as on you guys. I know that's strictly on her, but I hope I handled it correctly for you guys. And his wife actually took a picture of it so we knew who it was. And when he showed us her, it was like, that's that same woman that's always, because she lived like maybe 6 doors down.
6 doors? No, she lived in the next building in a sense.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because she had to get on the elevator to get to our side. Yeah. But she always left out of our entrance. Yeah. She could have left on her side, but I guess she liked to park on that side of the building. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So we knew who she was, so we was alert. We were alarmed. We were aware. That's what I'm trying to say. We were aware that it was her that was bothering us. And I think our neighbor across the hall even tried to give us a warning because she worked for the company, and she let us know, like, hey, she's actually trying to put in, some paperwork on you guys and get a paper trail. She even had a petition. You remember that?
Jumping ahead.
No, because I'm thinking like, this woman was crazy.
Yeah, she put out a whole
petition. She had a meeting. That's what they told us. She had a meeting with so many neighbors in the residents to sign a petition to get us out. We found that out later. Yep. And the neighbor across the hall who worked for the building, but she worked for another location, filled us in on that.
Yes. So basically, we found out a lot. We found out the neighbors got rings so that they could get video evidence.
So they could get videos of
we found out that it actually had a party.
A party when we left. Okay, now you're going too fast. You're going too fast.
So anyway.
The reason, we said, you know what? The next time we have guests here, we're going to wait around to see if she's going to try to enter in, because she knew when we were coming and going, because she was watching us. So we saw her, and we saw her walking back and forth, and I didn't hold the door for her this time. But we waited in our cars. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, she walked in again, just like she owned the place.
No, the last time.
That's the time she walked in.
The third time when we caught her, she was attempting to walk in.
I think she did walk in.
No.
Because didn't she call the police?
No. Well, no. That last time, she didn't walk in. She was at the door, and I asked her. Actually, I got footage.
Oh, okay.
I started filming her after we started to get into the altercation. I'm going to play it right now. So I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, it's
you don't have to say all of this. When did you start filming her?
After this moment.
Okay, go ahead.
I was like, she was like, oh, it's you. I was like, what do you mean it's me? She was like, no, you're doing something illegal. Then I pulled out my camera. I'm like, oh, I know what this is, Miss Karen. and I thought to film it. And so this is where that video comes from.
Violating
what?
You trespass into
You're trespassing, and you're also violating my lease by disrupting my quiet enjoyment, which MAA affords me under my lease agreement. People come and grow from this unit
Not
24
anymore.
hours a day. Yeah, they do.
And not 24 hours a day.
You can videotape me all day long. I've already written to corporate.
I've already talked to corporate.
Oh yeah.
And I have.
You're just trying to save yourself.
I don't
I've
have
already
to
called
save
the police.
myself.
Prove it to the police.
Call the police. I would love to talk to them.
Yeah, go ahead.
You walk into my property?
No, you're violating my quiet enjoyment, which I'm legally entitled to.
So I'm walking where
Yeah,
your
good luck with
enjoyment
that.
is.
Good luck with that. Stay away from me. You're stalking. And
Oh,
you're
I'm
violating.
walking through my.
You're violating the law. You're
This is
stalking
not
me.
illegal. You came and walked into
You
my.
are violating the law. You're stalking me right now.
You
You're
walked
entering
into
my
my property.
personal space, and I've told you not to.
6 feet
So
distance.
stop. Now I have a claim against you for stalking. In addition to you violating the lease agreement for MAA properties.
I would love for you to prove.
Take it up with management. I already wrote the general counsel.
So have I.
I work in law.
So have I.
I gotta vote on you.
Awesome. I would love for you to prove it. That'd be great.
I will. I'll prove it.
All right. Awesome.
Good luck. I'll see you in court.
I see you in court.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
And I just thought, like, yo, we're really dealing with a full-blown Karen. I'm like, is this not the same lady that takes up half the parking lot to do
exercise? She would bring her
aerobics?
personal trainer out, and no one could park in these 4 parking spaces because she was taking up the whole parking. Well, I won't say whole 4, but I didn't even care. The fact that you feel you can own the stop. The fact that you feel you can own this spaces of 4 parking spaces, but that we can't have our guests going in and out. And keep in mind, our guests would not, like, from what I saw, because we did ask other neighbors, like, is our guest bothering you? And they said no. It is a lot of people, but once they go into your unit, they're not harassing us. No one
This
stole
lady
anything.
did not live in our hallway for her to be. It was literally because it was so many.
I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about her because she's gonna make me mad again, and I've forgiven her. But she called the cops, and the cops told her, "Ma'am, you walked in their space." And she might even been a little frustrated that the cops was black too, so she might have felt
But
like,
that's what
dang.
Karens do. Karens they're like literally irrational.
Yes.
She thought that maybe she got some different types of cops.
Yeah, they would have helped her.
She thought that they would get on me.
Yeah, for walking into
because she walked into our unit.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Anyway, so she called the corporate. If she just reported us to management, we would have been good.
She called
the corporation of the entire building company
and let them know
what was going on. That they're
She thought we had an Airbnb.
Yeah, that we're doing Airbnb.
So we had a meeting with management of our building, and it was a new lady by then. And she said, "I am aware of you guys' situation, but she has started a paper trail, and she works for a lawyer's office, and she is finding all the loopholes to try to get all of us in trouble. So it is best that you guys leave." Now, keep in mind, I'm just trying to show you how crazy this lady is. She even looked up our Instagram to try to justify that we do not live there at all. And at that time, my husband had a photographer friend who was dying. Like literally, she was in hospice, young girl. And she was in Florida, and my husband went to visit her. So in her paper trail, the lady was also giving our condolences, but something we didn't even mention to her. She was like, "And I know your sister is dying." We said, "Our sister is dying?" She was like, "Yes." She said to my husband, she said, "I know that your sister is dying in Florida because the lady told us that you don't live here. You stay in Florida, by the way." I said, "We do live here." I said, "Wait a minute. What?" She looked on Instagram.
She looked on Instagram.
And he said, "My sister," as Christians, we refer to people sis, bro. And we said, first of all, how did she even get the names of our Instagram? But that's a whole nother here nor there. Because I felt as corporate, if y'all know that this woman is, now she's stalking us.
Yeah.
If you know that she's stalking us, then you need to get on that. But I just call it a good problem because we had outgrown that place anyway. So we left humbly.
We didn't leave.
Yeah, we didn't leave all the way.
We got kicked out.
We got kicked out.
we got evicted.
Yeah, we got evicted because
And they charged us a crazy, like whatever the rent was, it was like the fee that we paid was times 5 of the rent.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy fee. So, I mean, if you want to be schooled on what to do and what not to do, oh, we could tell you.
Right.
But even
don't run into a Karen. That's
the
what
beautiful thing is that God put the impulsiveness in me.
Yes, I will. I'm so proud of you for that. Glory be to God.
Yes.
This is when I really do have to take my hat off to you and say, I thank God for your impulsiveness, because we were already working on our second location, because we had built a name for ourselves. Vera Lofts was a thing by then.
Yeah.
And to say that Vera Lofts with the S was a thing, it wasn't too much of a thing, but because we were already on our second location, it really was an elevation. And that one got more bookings than the first one.
Yeah. So the way that one happened is, while we were in the hoopla of all the back and forth with this company, we were already starting to look at different locations. We're like, okay, we don't want to run into the same issue. So we need a location that accepts the type of thing that we do. So we found a location. And I was just like, and I think that we need to go in a direction where it's affordable and we're able to appeal with different looks.
Yes.
And so by the time we were completely out of that location, our second location was already completely set up.
Yes.
But we're able to move some of the bookings from that location to this one. So it just happens.
And people, the craziest thing, because we were booked, we was like her, like we booked for the year.
Yeah.
People that had booked that location, it only had one look because everything was the same color, just very clean. One, it was white, or in beige. We were telling people like, hey, I know you booked with us already. Do you mind moving your booking over to this location? And people were okay with it. Not one person complained like, no, I booked for here.
Yeah.
And that was because of the way that we had broke it down and set up each selection. How do I say? Each set that they felt
they got more for their money. Yeah. So this location, we're going to show it kind of to you guys here. It had multiple locations. We had the plant room.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. I still got to tell you.
Joe, because of the plants. We started getting new plans. We went to
show him in the room.
Show him in the room. He's in the room right there. We had the white room, had the black luxury. At the time, we had the white,
cute little
and then we updated the sets since then. But had just different looks, and it just was an entire
and that
vibe.
area felt good. We did not know, because we were still new to Atlanta. We did not know that area by the Beltline was such a popular location, being by Two Urban Licks, the restaurant, and Ponce City Market. We had no idea that God literally set us up to be in that area.
Yeah. And so
we thought Buckhead was it. We thought that's the
we used to think Buckhead was just nobody could touch Buckhead. But where we are was where we started that's our real official location. We've been there for maybe 4 years. But God has just been so good with that location. I was just like, well, baby, let's get greedy. And I was like, okay, let's get another location. So that was April. We were in April 2020.
Oh, this is April now.
Yeah,
anniversary.
4-year anniversary. So April 2021, we were at that location. June or July 2021. We got another location.
Yes.
And we had a crazy, before we got that location, the location that I fell in love with, it had a rooftop. We had another racial experience.
Yeah. So if the girl is Karen, we had a Ken? Is it Ken?
Not Ken.
What they call him?
What they call it? It got to be something. It got to sound rough.
Ken? I mean, Barbie and Ken. So
Gregory.
No, it has to be a K.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, with that location, that had a realtor. We did not see the owner. That was actually owned by an individual. The realtor loved us. I mean, you know how certain white people try to show you how much they love Black people by talking about the struggles and thinking they're introducing something to you. Like, have you ever seen this documentary? And yes, and he just really loved us. And he was very fascinated with the things that we did. And he had never heard of a content creation studio before. So he thought we were perfect for the owner that he worked for. And he had been working for this man for
He didn't know he was racist.
He never knew the owner of the guy that he was working for.
I'm assuming he's racist. We didn't get confirmation, but I'm pretty sure.
Let's tell the story.
Okay.
Let's tell the story. Our money was right. all of
Everything was
our
right. Bank
paperwork.
statements, everything
The
was
guy could not wait to introduce us to the guy who was the owner, who was out of the country at the time. And he said, once I introduce you to him, you know, he's going to love it, because I find it so fascinating what you guys are doing. We know you guys are going to upkeep the place because you're not putting so much wear and tear on it. We were even going to renovate it, because that's what we have to do when we come in to make the content creation studio look how we want it to look. And once we got going, he thought it'd be a bright idea. When did you introduce the picture to our family on the letterhead? What was it?
It was after the owner was saying, "Hey, keep looking. We're still looking around." I was just like, maybe he needs to kind of get a better feel of who we are. So I kind of wrote something up, sent a picture of my family.
Us and the family.
Yeah, and then the what is he called? What are those things called? A leasing agent.
The leasing agent.
The leasing agent was so excited once he saw the picture. He was like, "Oh, he's gonna love
This is what I
this.
need to present to
This
him."
is all we need. It's a done deal." He sent that picture because he had been pushing and pushing the owner like real tough. And that was kind of like the last move. Like he pushed it to him like, all right, these are them.
Like, because he had never met us in person. I don't know if he lived in Georgia.
The owner
never
but
met us
the
in person.
owner, when we did that last tour.
That was the owner
When we did that last
and when he
tour,
saw us, yeah.
he was there.
Yeah.
But he was kind of.
He didn't let us know he was the owner, but the agent let us know later on, like, that was the owner that you guys officially met. But he never told us, I am the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were coming up there the second time to see the place, because he said, let me show it to you guys again. But it was really a setup for the owner to see who we were.
Mm-hmm. So he saw us, and then I send a message. I'm like, hey, what
happened?
What does the owner think?
Yeah. Do we got it?
Said,
are we going to get the place?
I have an unfortunate news. Not only is he definitely emphatically not interested in you guys renting the space, but he has officially let me go from all my assignments, and he sent me.
He fired him.
He sent me a package which let me was he officially released me from all of my projects.
And he had been working for him for 5 years. And we were like, what? You got fired?
I was like, no, that's not right, man. I was like, what did you do? He was like, well, I don't know what I did wrong. I was like, just talk to me. I was like, it's because we're Black. He was like, well, I'm not going to put anything on him that I don't want to do.
He didn't cry. But I think what happened was, with my intuition, it was like, now you know, I ain't rent out to nobody like this before.
Come on.
So why in the heck are you pushing them to rent out? Now I know you don't have my best interest at heart.
Right.
It's time for you to go.
You up out of here. So you don't know the code. You don't know the code.
Yeah, because you can't say that, because then that's a lawsuit on your hands.
Absolutely.
So I said sorry.
Yeah.
But you didn't need to work for him in the first place.
But God be looking out for us.
Yeah.
That place had
no parking. Because it had no parking.
Yeah.
And we still did not. We just really loved that it had a rooftop. But now that Georgia got this stupid weather that we didn't know about, I'm glad we didn't get that rooftop.
Yeah.
People would have been canceling left to right. Like, it's raining today. I cannot take advantage of these pictures. So I'm glad we didn't get the place. I'm not happy he got fired, but I bet you he got something else better.
So we got our next location is called Paradise. You can take a look at this is what it looks like. It's a really beautiful location. We had like events there, birthdays there. We've done, we did poetry events there. It's just a vibe. Yeah. And so we're just like, man, and again, we don't have to talk about all the locations, but then later on that year, we got another location.
And another one.
In an amazing part of the city. And I invested more than any location more than any of the locations.
You invested at that one
because it was just like, I want to do something different. We want to do the kitchen set.
My kitchen.
And by this time, look, my wife just kind of.
Yeah, I didn't really help with that one too much.
She didn't help. She just was just like, okay, I see that this is something that.
Because honestly, I was ready to stop with the whole leasing. At that time, I was looking for a house because I felt like, why keep putting all of this money into these places that if we do not continue with the lease, that they have these nice walls that they're probably going to tear down too. They have the nice floor that they're probably going to rip up, that it's going to be turned back into an office space. So I was looking for a house while he was continuing with the leasing project.
And so
wait, finish me talking about yours. I'll get on mine. Okay,
I'll say this. Wait. Before I go to talk about where we are now, I just want to just testify unto the Lord.
Amen.
Because it was nothing but him that allowed us to get into that space. One, because things were already shifting professionally for me. I already wanted to not be on the road as much. I already committed to not being on the road as much, but I didn't really have a plan to not being on the road as much beyond like the things that we were doing. Well, not me doing poetry, but just beyond.
Well, at that time, that was your main thing was poetry.
Yeah. And so I was just like, well, I'll just still kind of be on the producing side and on the directing side. But I definitely, like, this open door of this thing was just like, man, God's handiwork. Man, we got a call from I'll just say, one of the major premier platforms for hosting rentals, like content creation spaces and studios. And they actually called me and said, hello, this is blank.
We thought it was like a prank call. Yes, a spam.
I'm like, why are they calling me? I'm like, what did I do wrong? He was just like, well, this is me on behalf of this. And I just, to be honest.
And I'm in the background like,
don't say nothing. He was like, I just want to know how do you do what you do? I'm just like, what do we do?
Like, y'all own the platform. What you asking me for?
So they're just like, well, so you don't know. I'm like, no, what? He was like, you're the number one content creation space in Georgia. I'm just like,
really?
What? Oh, he was like, oh, you really don't know. He was like, I got to send you your stats. I was like, you're actually, as far as grossing and revenue is concerned, you're actually the number one content creation space as far as gross and revenue in the country. He was saying that we're the top content creation space in the country. I was like, what?
That's when I really did think it was a scam call, because
like, ain't no way.
You calling me, telling me this little black girl and black boy that didn't know nothing about nothing is the top. Like, who are you? And did you used to work for the company and that's how you got our number and you want information on us? Like what's going on?
Being highly suspicious. And he was like, but that's not it. He was like, of all content creation spaces that do what you do, you're actually the number 4 internationally in all of our space. I was just like, because to be honest, let me stop trying to toot our own horn. We don't have the best spaces on the platform. There are spaces that I admire in Los Angeles, in New York, and Florida. But I truly believe it's the favor of God that allowed us to get to that space. I was just like, well, that's amazing to know. And so where we didn't have it, where we lacked in expertise, where we lacked in experience, God gave us so much in favor. As far as word of mouth, so many people have come through.
Because keep in mind, we have which we, need to start doing is marketing, We have never really touched the side of marketing. Literally, it's all by word of mouth. Yeah. And that's just like, thank you, Jesus. Because I think, going back to saying you wanted to quit, I won't say quit, but you wanted to stop touring as much. A lot of times with entrepreneurs, you have to know when to pivot. Mm-hmm. And especially when you're at a high. You guys were at a high when it came to Poets in Autumn and the favor that you had on you. And not to say that favor is gone, but everyone wanted to go into a different route and different lane into ministry and what they wanted to do and what they were passionate about at that time, especially with being creatives. So I think anybody, like if you have a marketing company, it's going great right now and you're an entrepreneur, you have to know that, like, let me set myself up. Like entertainers, singers that were great singers back then are not necessarily the most popular now. So you have to know when and how to invest in something else and know when to move when it's time to move. So I thank God.
That's a whole different part.
Yeah, we want to talk about that.
That's so good.
But I'm grateful that we were set up like this in a good way.
Yeah. God definitely set us up. And so our heart was set on, hey, we don't want to lease another location.
Yeah, that's right.
We want to get into purchasing. And it was on our heart that we didn't want it to just be a selfish thing. We didn't want to do it just for ourselves. We wanted to get our family
in on it, yeah.
And so my wife went on the hunt.
I was, what's the word I used for you? I was pretty determined and what's the word that I always say you are? You just said it. Persistent and
impulsive.
I was impulsive. Thank you. I can't think of your own word.
I didn't know.
Okay. I was impulsive this time. I was looking night and day for a place where it was getting to the point where I didn't even know all these places in Georgia that I was looking at because I was just looking up Georgia places for sale. And I'm like, well, how far is this from me? Because I didn't know Georgia. All I did know was my surrounding areas. And I definitely wanted something that set on a lot of land. So after we saw about a good, and keep in mind, since I did not know Georgia, I would put it in my maps and I would tell him, we got to drive over here tomorrow.
Yeah.
But get in the car right now. Let's go see how far this is from us.
Yeah.
So we saw quite a few places, but when we finally drove by this location that we are in, I felt like, okay, it's not that far from where we live. It's sitting on a nice chunk of land and it had so much potential. So I told my brother about it and he got excited and he told me to tell my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad and my mother, my bonus mom, that's what I call her, my bonus mom, they were like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I don't even think anyone saw the place.
Yeah.
No one had saw it, but the fact that they agreed to participate on something that I was passionate about just like wooed me and thrilled my mind. So they said, my dad said, it shouldn't just be, you and me and your brother. Let's see who else would like to be a part of the family. So we called his siblings. We called all of my siblings. We asked a few more people in my family. Some people denied. Some people was head on. So my cousins, my great aunt, and we all came together as a family investment and said, let's do it here.
Yeah.
And that's how we're here today. Would you like to speak more on that?
I mean, the family just came through, made it happen.
Thank you.
Once we actually got onto the property, we knew that there was tons of potential.
Yeah.
But it was different with the leases. We knew like the owners owned the building. We knew there was a level of work to be done, but with purchasing a whole property is kind of older.
Yeah.
It's just so much work. You got pool, you got land, you got the interior, you got the AC work, the heater, all of these things.
And you can't call nobody else because it's yours. It's on you.
It's on you. So we actually.
But you also have to look at the other side as this is a real investment, the equity in the house
absolutely.
And that it's ours. Everything all the work that we put in is to better, and it goes back into the family in the long run.
Yeah, and so for us, there was no losing with this place. We want this place to be a part of us and part of the family for the long run. But on top of that, because we of course we're already in the photography space and we wanted to use the space for people to do dope photos, we wanted to. Our original idea and the ultimate plan is to make this basically an awesome oasis for beautiful events, small events, weddings, and all things like that. And so we're just excited for the process because I know that the final product is going to be amazing. We have our story about, all the struggles that we had
with our wedding.
And not even being able to find a place that was affordable. Nowadays, you want to book a wedding location, it's in the tens of thousands of dollars.
I don't think it's hard to book a location because you could go have a wedding anywhere. I think it's hard to book a nice location.
Yeah.
Something that you could still be proud of and still have money in your pocket. If you want something luxury, you definitely need to go to either a hotel or some grand luxe event space that already has in the chandeliers and all the nice equipment. So we wanted something that was nice looking for weddings because we've already had our own experience, but something that you did not have to put too much money in, that you could say, wow, this is nice.
Yeah, and I believe that we have the potential, we have the foundational stuff to do that here. Like you pull up and it just looks like, it looks like a mansion. You pull up and you got the outdoor space, you got the greenery. Of course, there's still so much
work that needs to be done, but it's almost in a sense, we haven't came up with the name. We do have the name for this place. This is Kite Manor.
Yeah.
But on the side of that, it's like, I want to be known as the affordable wedding.
Yes.
And sometimes when you hear affordable, you think of cheap. No, just because it's affordable does not mean that it doesn't have to have class with it. Yeah. And to be honest, I see nothing wrong with cheap if it's still nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the goal, that people don't go through what we went through, knowing that we can book an amazing, if we could have had an amazing space, amazing venue, and still walked away with money in our pocket, that would have been a dream. And that's what we're trying to offer to other people. And so I thank God that we went through everything that we went through so that we can get here.
So who want to get married here?
Oh,
everybody don't say I
not
want.
Just married, like anytime. We want to open it up for everything.
Baby shower. Well, we've already had a few of those here already. We've even had some very small weddings here.
Yeah.
And they were happy because not only were they able to have their ceremony here, but they were able to take amazing pictures afterwards. That's the one thing that I still appreciate about our wedding. I still love our pictures to this day because of the photographer that we chose, because of the poses that we did. And they had nice scenery. Here it is designed for nice scenery. Yeah. So of course you're going to get those luxury pictures, not just for you, but for your audience as well while they're waiting. That is what we want to really build here at Kite Man.
Yeah. So overall, like God has just shown us so much favor, and like the journey that people have been following us. When we did our first open house, a lot of people came out.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
We're going to be doing a whole lot more. So if you're ever in the Atlanta area or anywhere in Georgia, just come through. See what's happening over here. See the journey. See the process. Book something. Turn into a salesman.
We said that our business has really built on word of mouth. So look up Vera Lofts IG, and you could send it to somebody else that you know, because everybody knows somebody. And you can send it to someone else to let them know that, hey, if you need to do a photo shoot or you need to host an event, contact them. I know them, or they're good people.
I also wonder, because so many people reach us and say, how did you do? Like, what are the details?
No, not even just reach us. If our host is not working for us that day and they realize that I am the owner, they look at me and I believe I look relatable. So they'll ask, okay, that too. They'll say, you on the spot? Oh, can you tell us more? And I'm not a gatekeeper. I will definitely tell you what I know, the ins and outs. And it's just like the bread aisle. It's so many different types of breads, but that doesn't stop somebody else from coming out the next fluffy, doughy, keto, sourdough, Hawaiian roll. That does not stop anybody from making bread, because there's so many breads on the bread aisle. So I believe if this is something that you want to do and I can help you or aid you to getting it started.
So I just want to know, is this something that you guys want to know more about? You want to learn how to create your own content creation space where you are? Some people in Detroit, Dallas, some people are just like, how do we do this here? Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that we're just passionate about. We're not gatekeepers. We want people to learn how to do this stuff, but we haven't created an official platform to do that. But we want to know if there's interest there, then we might be able to create something specific for people who want to learn how to get into this space and how not to endure losses like we lost.
Well, you're always going to have some type of
devastating losses.
Yeah, you're going to have some type of losses. So I think that's what make it where it works for us, because we don't panic. Mm-hmm. So you do have to learn how to hold your composure, because there are going to be times where things are going to go wrong because you are the owner. Yes. So you have to understand how to keep your composure, and maybe you don't need to be the one running it. You might need some help.
Yeah. And so to avoid devastating losses and to do it smart, because there are ways to do this, and you could just do it wrong and you could do it just not intelligent. But we have the experience to say, hey, look, these are routes that we took that helped us. These are routes that we took and we're learning about that are better for us, that could be better for you. If you're interested in it, let us know in the comments. We want to know. Are you interested in learning how to get into this? Maybe even where you live. I want to see how this looks in Nigeria, South Africa. Because
Nigeria could definitely do it, because even just watching their music videos, the colors, South Africa, like Ghana, like all the things that they do in the music videos that I see, I can see it being amazing.
Absolutely. So we party partner, have their boss everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for
Barrett, come to you.
And for those of you who are serious today, you say, I want to get into this world. I want to create my own content space. I want to create an event space, or people that want to get into that world. I can't say that we are the gurus, but I can say
we know a lot.
God has given us favor, and we do know a lot in this world. And so we're creating something just for you. Click the link in the description. Click the link in the bio. Wherever you're seeing this, there is a link attached. Go ahead and click that, and it'll give you all you need to know to take the next step. All right?